Well, hello and welcome to The Zone. I'm your host, Big Wave Dave. So today we're going to kick off our brand new series, Amazing Design. Now we are going to look at some incredible creatures that God made. But first, let's start with this, the light of creation. So, did God really create everything? What does the Bible say? Let's take a look. In the first two chapters of Genesis, we learned that God created the people and the stars and the planets and the animals and everything, and he did that in just 6 days. Now this is confirmed in the book of Exodus. The prophet Isaiah, he talked about God as the creator too. He said that God made the heavens and that he fashioned and made the earth. Well, what does that mean? Well, that means that God designed the earth and then he made it. It's also in the New Testament. When the Apostle Paul was talking to the Colossians, he said that everything was made through him for him. And when Paul was talking to the philosophers on Mars Hill, he introduced God of the Bible as the God who made the world and everything in it. Finally, Peter warned us that there would come a day that people would deliberately forget that God is the creator. My friends, the Bible is crystal clear. God is the creator. Okay, then, that's what the Bible says, but is there any evidence to show that God created everything? Great question. Glad you asked. Check this out. We live in an amazing world. It is a world of incredible beauty. It is a world that has creatures that fly through the skies. Our seas and waterways are filled with astonishing life. And as if this wasn't enough, on day 6 of Creation Week, God blessed us with a variety of really cool land animals. Now, although some people believe that all of this created itself, when you stop and take a closer look at the world around us and living things, you will discover that everything has one thing in common: amazing design. Wasn't that cool? Let's look at a few examples. Let's talk about giraffes. You know, giraffes are so cool and so fun to watch. Here are some interesting facts about them. Giraffes are the tallest animals in the world, and they can grow to be 18 feet tall. That's 3 times the height of a person. And did you know that male giraffes can weigh up to 3,000 pounds? That's as much as a car. Man, I hope they don't step on my foot. That would hurt. Did you know that the tongue of a giraffe can grow to be up to 20 inches? So if you're at the zoo, you better keep an eye on your ice cream. Now, why do they need tongues that long? Well, it helps them reach leaves and branches of trees that are really high. Giraffes are really fast. They can run up to 35 miles per hour. Now, since giraffes are so big and so tall, they need big hearts. The heart of a giraffe can weigh up to 24 pounds. Pretty amazing creatures, right? Well, let me ask you a question. Have you ever gotten dizzy when you got up too quickly? Yeah, me too. So why doesn't that happen to giraffes after they drink water? There's a reason. Let's take a closer look. You see, God gave giraffes certain features that help them from getting dizzy. The first is this. If you've ever noticed, when a giraffe leans down to drink water, they spread their legs. Now what this does is this reduces the height differential between their hearts and their heads. It helps control their blood pressure. God also gave them special valves and tissue in the back of their brain that help control blood pressure. And that is why when they lean down, all the blood doesn't rush into their heads, or when they stand up, it doesn't drain away. Because if that happened, they would get dizzy and fall down and be lunch for the lions. Giraffes show amazing design. Let's talk about little creatures now. I could watch bees for hours, the way that they just buzz around and collect pollen. They are really good at that. Do you know why? Because that's how God designed them. Let's look at some design features for the bee. First of all, their wings beat at 200 times per second. That's really fast. That's why they're able to hover in place and just turn any way so that they can land just right on those flowers. Now, the brain of a bee is really small. It's only about the size of a grass seed. and yet they're really smart. We'll talk more about that in just a moment. Bees can see really well. It's because they have 5 eyes, including 2 compound eyes. And those 2 eyes each have 7,000 facets. God also gave the bees special antennae, and these antennae help measure the flight speed and can detect up to 170 odors. Now, to keep those antennae clean, God designed them with a special notch on their front legs so that they can just wipe off anything that gets on the antenna. And finally, on the back legs of a bee, they have this little bucket-like structure where they use to carry pollen. This is why they are so good at collecting and transporting pollen back to their hives. Remember when I told you that bees are really smart? Well, scientists have done studies to where they look closely at the movements of bees, and they discovered something amazing. They're not just having fun dancing around. They're actually telling their friends where to find food. Isn't that amazing? God made creatures great and small, but they all show one thing: amazing design. Now, sadly, some people still refuse to believe in God. So when they look around at creation, they think, well, things must have found a way to create themselves somehow. So why is that? Is there not enough evidence to support creation? Well, here's what the Bible says. When we look around us at the things that God has created, we should know that there's a God. You see, people don't believe in God because they don't want to. Well, why is that? Well, some people have been hurt and they're mad at God. Others, they just want to be in charge of their lives. They don't want to have to follow what God says. So do you know anybody like that? What can we do? Well, we can pray. Pray that God will use the light of creation to soften their hearts and lead those people to him. Let's wrap up with these takeaways. First, the Bible clearly teaches that God is the creator of everything. Every time you look closely at anything that God has created, you see amazing design. Now, some people think that everything created itself because they don't want to believe in God. And finally, the next time you go outside, take a look around you at all the amazing things that God has made and thank him. Well, I'm Big Wave Dave, and that's all the time we have together today. I hope to see you soon here on The Zone. God bless you.